I have been drawn to the storied shores of North Africa's only remaining kingdom. A place that is at once frenzied and fascinating, dizzying and diverse, ancient yet ageless. From the noisy, knotted streets of Fez to the candy-colored alleys of Chef Shawan. Join me as I continue to unearth Morocco's best-kept secrets. As I continue my journey across Morocco, I explore the heart of its former royal capital, Fez. Situated on a rocky hillside between the Rift and Atlas Mountains, Fez offered an ideal location for a metropolis. Gifted by the flowing waters of the Fez Wadi, Idris I, an Arab prince and great-grandson of the Prophet Muhammad, decided to build a city here. Uniting with the Berber tribes in the area, he became known as the founder of Morocco, and Fez became its capital. His son Idris II continued his father's legacy, unifying Morocco with a firm allegiance to Islam. Henceforth, Fez became a center for spirituality, learning, and trade. The old Medina preserves the memory of this ancient capital within the city walls, that it was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a sort of time capsule that can show us what ancient life in Morocco was like. As a seat of power, the entire city was fortified with crenellated walls housing watchtowers and gates, stretching for 8 kilometers. I entered through the Blue Gate, a Moorish-style entrance decorated with ornate tiles. Its front side is blue, representing the city of Fez, and green at the back, the color of Islam. Though the gate was a relatively new addition, it was a beautiful portal that ushered you into a completely different world and a different time. At a time of territorial upheaval, cities were built like complex mazes in order to thwart invasions, and Fez is a superb example. I navigated the tangled narrow streets which are almost impossible not to get lost in.
Funny thing is there's no real map going in and out of this. You have to sort of find your way. No cars are allowed in this area except donkeys, mules, and small motorcycles. Oop, watch out, let this guy go first.
The real challenge is finding the ancient monuments hidden well within the shops and homes so closely built together. In a corner of the Medina is one of the city's most sacred sites. Noticeable by its richly decorated vestibule and cedar doors.
This is the tomb of Idris II. He was considered the founder of Fez, and after his death, a saint. His tomb is right on the other side. Only Muslims are allowed to enter in this tomb. The place is decorated with very nice carpet, a clock made in England, and a chandelier made in Italy. The wood is painted with vegetable dye, They say that when people want to get married or want to get pregnant, they come here during the festival and wish and pray for that.
The early growth of Fez as a city was due to two successive waves of immigration: the Andalusians from Spain and the Kairouan people from Tunisia. In the 9th century, a Kairouan woman named Fatima El Fihri used her inheritance to fund the construction of a mosque and university for the community. It became a key spiritual and educational center in the Islamic world. Today, the Kairouan Mosque and University is recognized by UNESCO as the oldest continuously operating university in the world. In the centuries that followed, Fez drew scholars and intellectuals into its gates, hoping to discover the wealth of knowledge the city holds. During the Marinid dynasty, which was considered the golden age of Fez, many madrasas or Islamic colleges were constructed, like the Madrasa Al-Atarin.
This is one of the numerous madrasas or ancient Islamic schools here in Fez. It is a very good example of Moroccan architecture.
Aside from a prayer hall and a courtyard, madrasas also provided rooms for students to stay in. The Madrasa Bo Inanya is another treasure in the midst of the busy Medina. It is considered the most elaborate and extravagant of the Marinid monuments.
This madrasa is really impressive, with a combination of mosaic tiles, carved plaster, and intricate lattice work on cedar wood.
It presents an unrivaled example of the Moorish art of laceria, or lattice work, known as weaving by carpentry. The striking decorations cover every possible surface. I continued exploring the Medina, overwhelmed by the sights, smells, and sounds.
Well, walking around this market is always interesting. Alleys and paths that are filled with everything from candies to meat, lotions, bread, almost everything. And once in a while, a donkey would pass us. I'm also curious about the food. So much meat of different kinds, from camel to lamb. This is camel spleen.
Finally, it was time to take a break from all the walking and sit down for a nice traditional Moroccan lunch.
Wow, all very appetizing. I don't know where to start. Everything looks healthy too.
Sitting down for a meal is where you will really see the different influences that make up Moroccan culture. There were hot and cold plates as starters, followed by a main dish of tagine, a stew of meat and vegetables named after the earthenware pot it's cooked in. Couscous is the national dish, made of wheat formed into small grains. There's also skewered meat, typical in the Middle Eastern cuisine, as well as bread and olive oil, which are typical in Mediterranean meals. After a heavy meal, I stopped by for some fresh mint tea served at almost every corner. The spirit of medieval Islamic society lives on in the old Medina of Fez, truly the heart and soul of this ancient kingdom. Up next, I continue to explore the city of Fez, where artisans have perfected their craft and where goods have been sold and traded for centuries. Due to its advantageous location in the middle of important trade routes and being located in a region rich in precious raw materials, Fez became the birthplace of Moroccan arts and crafts. Wandering around the Medina, you will find numerous workshops practicing these time-honored traditions. Moroccan carpets have been weaved by nomadic Berber people since ancient times. This early tradition was brought about by the climate of the region. As the nomads moved from place to place, thick and heavy textiles shielded them from the cold in the Atlas Mountains, while light and flat ones offered comfort in the heat of the Sahara Desert.
This is Berber from the south.
Yes.
This they make it from two ladies. One this side, one other side. You shear the needle, stitch in, woven, embroidered. Stitch in, stitch back, two side. This is central, but never a Berber too similar.
Designs vary from tribe to tribe and would mostly be made up of geometric patterns.
So this carpet we could use it winter side,
Yes.
summer side. This carpet is more than 2.5 years to be made.
Dynamic colors and bold patterns can be found in almost all Moroccan crafts, including their pottery and tilework. The souks carry these colorful treasures, serving both ornamental and practical uses. With the abundance of high-quality clay in the region, Fez became one of the biggest centers for traditional ceramics, made by hand for centuries. Berbers are believed to have made use of the cone-shaped tagine pot, made to trap steam while cooking meat slowly, perfect for the desert, where there is short water supply for cooking. The hand-painted designs feature geometric and arabesque patterns influenced by the diverse cultures from the east and west that have made their way into Morocco. Some are even gilded with delicate metallic trims to produce stunning pieces. I also observed closely how they made the intricate sallige or mosaic tile work, which can be seen extensively in mosques, palaces, and private homes. Individual shapes are chiseled from glazed ceramic tiles and assembled like an upside-down jigsaw puzzle. This type of artistic expression came about because Islamic law does not allow the depiction of living things in any art form, in order to avoid the worship of objects. The infinite geometric patterns in Islamic art have been noted for their mathematical properties. It takes a very skilled craftsman to be able to put together such a brilliant work of art and symmetry. My geometry teacher would fall off her chair if I could make something like this. In and around the Medina, you will see donkeys walking under the weight of animal skins that have been left to dry in the sun. I followed their trail and an unmistakable scent told me I was in the right place. The Chawara tanneries are said to be the oldest in the world, making leather since the 11th century.
These stone vats have existed since the medieval times, and each one contains different colored dyes to dye the leather. The smell is a bit awful, and as we went in, they gave us this mint leaves to survive the smell.
Seeing this age-old trade is as raw as it gets. Animal hides from cows, goats, sheep, and camel are cleaned and dried before being soaked in the white stone vats for cleaning. These vats contain cow urine, quicklime, salt, and water. They are then transferred to an ammonia solution to soften the skins. It's still organic because the ammonia comes from pigeon poop. No wonder so many people keep them in the rooftops. They are kneaded by hand or foot to soften further. Then, they are dyed in the different colored vats, making use of natural plant dyes. All of these can be observed in the rooftop terraces surrounding the tannery, where you will also find the finished products. The hides become handbags, jackets, slippers, and all kinds of leather goods imaginable. It's great to get a peek into an ancient craft still being practiced until today at the very same spot where it began. As I made my way through the Medina, the loud banging and clanging of metal led me to Sephardim Square. Here, coppersmiths have hammered and polished metal for centuries.
Just watching how they work is just amazing.
They made everything, from cookware to lamps, trinkets to antiques.
I'm hoping this is Aladdin slap.
Aladdin come out in the night, not in the day.
Oh, so I have to wait.
In the biggest urban area in the world without cars, with thousands of alleys and dead ends, it was amazing to be able to find artisans who take pride in the work of their hands, masters of their craft, and keepers of ancient traditions. Up next, I venture north to the Rift Mountains, where I find a mystical city whose streets make you feel like you're walking in a dream. I left the frenetic streets of Fez and continued on my journey. From Fez, it was a few hours' drive going north to my next stop. After navigating the narrow mountain roads, Chefchaouen appears, nestled on the foothills of the Rift. Relative inaccessibility has made Chefchaouen one of Morocco's best-kept secrets for years, giving the small town an air of mystery. The locals call the place Chaouen, a word which means horns, in reference to the two tall peaks that surround the town. In 1471, Moroccan military leader Moulay al-Ben Rashid, a descendant of Idris I, built the Kasbah or fortress here to protect the area from Portuguese invasion. Before long, local settlers as well as Moors and Jews escaping Spain arrived in the city. Because of a steady water supply coming from the mountains, the settlement flourished. In 1920, Chaouen was seized by Spain. It was returned when Morocco gained independence in 1956. Until today, Spanish is the main language spoken here. I found my way into the heart of its Medina, made famous for being awash with different hues of blue.
It's a nice and pleasant morning. It's interesting to just walk around the alleys. People are starting to put out their goods. All the walls, all the houses are painted in blue. Colored fabric, the carpets, and the other wares they're selling make it really look interesting.
But why exactly is everything blue?
There are many theories why Chefchaouen is painted blue. When the Jews were fleeing the Spanish Inquisition, they settled here and brought the tradition of painting the buildings in this holy color.
In Jewish tradition, blue is the color of the sky, symbolic of heaven and God's power above. For generations, the residents have kept the tradition, creating this surreal, dreamlike setting.
It's always interesting to explore all the alleys and just look at the houses and the doors they have. Very unusual and very decorative.
Local crafts also line the streets. But in contrast to navigating the frenzied alleys of Fez, Chef Shawan's Medina was a more relaxing stroll. Maybe it was the color's calming effect.
There are so many places to explore and discover. Every time I walk, I find some new places or some new alleys where there are nice houses, kids. Everyone's so friendly. Even the dogs and the cats don't quarrel.
There are many interesting shops around the Medina, each one greeting you with a rainbow of colors. One of the oldest shops here is La Botica de la Abuela Aladdin. Stacked from floor to ceiling with soaps, fragrances, incense, oils and spices. It was like entering Aladdin's cave of treasures.
You have to take time and smell everything. Everything smells good.
Artists have long found inspiration in the city's unique beauty and have expressed them in numerous artworks. Mohammed comes from a family of painters and has drawn hundreds of scenes from his beloved city. Every drop of paint and stroke of the brush attempted to capture the heart and soul of this picturesque place, which makes you feel like you're walking inside a painting. Venturing further, I chance upon a busy communal oven. Since olden times, it was common for villagers to bring their dough here and have them baked on the large brick-lined oven.
Ah, very hot. Very nice bread. I'm gonna have that for lunch.
The smell of freshly baked bread was enough to whet my appetite, so I decided to sit down for a meal.
I'm in my favorite restaurant, and the starters would be bread they call hobs, which was baked just across the street, so it's very fresh. And you sort of dip it into olive oil and some chili sauce. Very spicy, but very good.
The olive oil was freshly pressed and is one of the best I've tasted.
Another specialty here in Chef Shawan is the goat cheese and special jam. Very nice goat cheese. I have to try this fig jam.
Of course, I had to have the national dish, couscous.
And I'll match it with this beef kebab, but they put tomatoes in it. I think this is the influence of the Spaniards. There's tomato and olives. And of course, I couldn't resist not ordering rice.
It was a very satisfying meal that helped fuel my walk in the numerous steps and hilly terrain. Hawkers were not as pushy as in other places, allowing you to appreciate the things you see and find the best bargains.
Okay, how much discount will you give me now?
While here, I thought I'd pick up a traditional outfit.
In Arabic,
Yes,
Ruzza.
rosa. So this is traditional Moroccan.
Yes. Old Moroccan, this is in style Ruzza.
Now I can walk around Chef Shawan to match the scenery and the surroundings.
I found the town to be pleasant and peaceful. Truly one of Morocco's hidden gems. Before ending my journey, there was one last place I made sure to visit. East of the town is a white building perched on a hill.
Well, we hiked up this mountain where the old Spanish mosque stands. It's not being used, but everybody hangs out here for sunset to watch the beautiful view of Chef Shawan.
There was music and eager spectators. Everyone watched as the last rays of the warm light illuminated the blue pearl of Morocco. Morocco's unique blend of influences sets it apart from any other place in the world. Chaotic and colorful, it bears its heart and soul to any traveler braving its historic medinas and winding streets. Incredibly diverse, one trip cannot unlock all its secrets. Morocco will keep you wanting to come back for more.
This has been your captain, Joy Roa. See you in the next Asian Air Safari.